Hello everyone, it's Anne Rich, otherwise known as Mother Anne as well. I have over the years written a few books and I just thought maybe I'll come on and just give you a few chapters from maybe each one of them. I enjoy writing. This one, The Hidden Enemy, is about mental health and a true story. So I hope you enjoyed the couple of chapters I've read to you, and I'll put my other books on very soon. So thank you. Thank you for looking. Bye. The Mental Asylum. My mother continued to be ill after the birth of her precious baby boy and fell into a deep black hole which she never really found her way out of. She touched death's door many times, being unable to eat, which caused anorexia, and with severe depression. Eventually the doctors agreed that she needed treatment. In those days you never questioned the doctor. What he said was gospel. My mother was taken to a mental asylum. It was the most horrendous place, which will be etched on my mind forever. She was placed with people which in those days were called lunatics, people who were insane, unable to go out in society. How could my mother end up in a place like this? I think because she was so ill, she didn't understand where she was until she started to recover. Unfortunately, this was not the last time my mother would spend periods of time in a mental asylum. She would have to have long stays in there many times throughout her life. I wondered how she'd cope with such horrendous humane conditions, and I prayed they would make her better. This was a great shock for two small children visiting in a very frightening place. It was a very old Victorian building with many people who were also severely mentally disabled. It was a very difficult time. My brother and I were very scared of all this that was going on around us. And now I think this is where I had my first panic attacks. I did not understand what this feeling was back then. Electric shock treatment. My mother was given EST, electric shock treatment. This was now in the 50s. She nearly died from this barbaric treatment. She withstood at least 50 sessions throughout her life. I'm sure today no one would have so many treatments. This is still a controversial method, though I do believe it helped my mother at the time. To this day I recall the memories to my mind. My mother was not given anaesthetic. It was something not given in those days. She would know exactly what was going on and would feel everything. To me this was barbaric and torture for her. She was told to lay down with her wrists and ankles tied up, and she was tied down and placed on a clinical bed. She was gagged and electrodes were placed on her head and controlled currents were sent through her body, causing her to have seizures. My mother's body shook and wriggled about. She would pass out, and after coming round, she would not even remember us, her very own children and her husband. Because it was a while before she could get her memory back. Even the smell of the treatment still lingers on. This was living hell for us all, a memory I don't like to recall often. I can feel the unbearable pain of those terrible memories today. Thankfully, no child will have to see and be in this situation today. It was horrendous conditions. Has everlasting effects. I'm pleased this treatment is done in a more humane way today, with anaesthetic and in more pleasant environment, and only done as a last resort. Many people still don't know how the treatment works and are unsure if it helps the patients or not. Maybe we'll never know. My dear mother was so brave, but it took a great toll on her life and all our family. Hello everyone. Thank you for listening to the couple of chapters from The Hidden Enemy. This is my mother. She was called Irene, and my brother was called David, and of course myself, who endured many times in a mental institution visiting my mother. So if you would like to purchase the book, please message me. Just thank you, and love and blessings.